Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here. We're going to dive right in with your reading today. I do like to begin my readings by thanking those of you who have been here, who have liked, shared, commented, subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much for your support. I do deeply appreciate it. To those of you who are new, welcome, welcome. We are going to dive right in. Just keep in mind, these are general readings, so take what resonates and leave the rest. All right, here we go. For Pisces, please, Spirit. For Pisces. What do we have? Pisces. Woo. Pisces, whenever I see the word creativity, I always think of starting something new or, it doesn't even always have to be something new. It's like sometimes creativity is reworking something that doesn't work, figuring out a different way to do it. And then you have this ownership energy, and then you have satisfaction and cooperation on the bottom of the deck. So for me, it feels like there is something that's trying to come together here. And with the ownership card, I'm getting, it's like, I don't know if one person, how do I want to say it? Honestly, whether you've done anything wrong or, quote unquote wrong or not, there is this sense of sovereignty, and you can't ever lose sovereignty even when you're in a relationship. You have to be your own person, and your person has to be their own person. And I am just sort of getting that with the ownership, but there is this like, I am responsible for myself in this space, and the decisions that I make are mine. And then you have this energy of satisfaction where as long as I am true to myself inside any relationship or any connection or anything that I am trying to create or build or rework, I will always be satisfied with the outcome, because I've been true to myself. Even if it ends with me learning a lesson, it's a lesson that was for me. I'm just going to leave it there. So let me read this to you. It says, creativity, you love to devise new ideas, innovations, and forms of illumination. And then you have ownership. You acknowledge your misdeeds and accomplishments alike and learn to love them all as lessons. And then you have satisfaction. You let the energy of love guide you to self-approval so that others no longer define who you are. Yeah. Like, we never want to give up ourself in a relationship. It happens, and sometimes it happens so subtly over time that we don't even realize it, But a truly healthy relationship doesn't ever really want you to do that. It's interesting, because when we want someone to, I don't know why I just got this word, evacuate who they are or their own positioning or something that's important to them, it's because we want them to fill a need that we're incapable of filling within ourselves. And so it's just a telltale sign of something toxic, that's either, it's toxic regardless. It's probably codependent. And then you have on the bottom of the deck cooperation, which is completely different than codependent. Cooperation is we're both operating in this situation. Codependent is I can't exist without you and you can't exist without me. So cooperation, it says, in your quest to manifest the energy of love, you realize that every person and experience has value. Yeah, you don't become dependent on it. You allow it to be what it is and know that whatever it is, that is enough, and that is just right, and that is what it is meant to be. All right, so you guys have been getting like this energy that almost seems like unrealistic in a way. It just, I don't know, everything is realistic, but everything is possible, and it's important to like really know that. But the thing is like, I don't know, I just felt like I needed to look at blockages more, or like just, what would be stopping this thing from coming together. You did get an energy of a blockage yesterday, but it just really turned out, I feel like, to be, someone's internal unhealed wounds, or something that they're actually working to heal. That makes it hard to trust, or kind of serve as an obstacle, like coming between the situation. But it felt very temporary. Oh wow, I can't believe I'm like saying that. Okay. So I got these blockage cards. And you guys are getting insecurities, too much work, everyone leaves, and excuses. It's so interesting, you guys, because I feel a tide has turned here. Even as I'm looking at this deck that I literally bought because it is called, what is it called? Something about obstacles. I can't find the box. What's blocking you? Even as I'm looking at this, I'm feeling like these are lessons learned from past relationships. These are things that I have experienced that I know I don't want to experience, and they may be causing me to have very high standards, which in and of its own way can be a bit of a blockage, right? Because people that aren't going to really be committed to doing the work, or to, getting there with you, well, they're not gonna put in the work or whatever to meet the standard, right? But don't you want to know that? I mean, and do you want to be with someone that isn't gonna want to do that? Because if they don't want to do it when it's fun and it's exciting and it's new and there's a ton of incentive, then are they really going to be able to show up when it's hard and it's old and it's cumbersome and it's tiring, and it's like, oh man, here we go again. You know what I mean? I don't know. But I feel like these are all these energies of, it's almost like past loves is how I truly feel. I feel like it's like, I know what I don't want because I have learned it. I've learned what happens when you date someone with an insecurity, and even when you recognize the insecurity, and even when you go way out of your way to bolster the insecurity, it ends up taking you down. It ends up being projected onto you and taking you down and taking the relationship down in the end. We have to fortify ourselves. We have to get to the 9 of Pentacles before we can experience the 10 of Pentacles. We have to be in a space where we know our value, where we know our worth, and where we're, through our own eyes, seeing it within ourselves and seeing it in others. Because otherwise we're just an outlet for someone else's pain and someone else's wounding, and we're just out there taking it on. And we know we don't want that. And then you have like too much work. It's as you tell yourself it's too much work, but it's really an excuse not to get involved. And it's like, yeah, you have been on not number one on someone's priority list many times. You've been understanding, you've given grace, you've made accommodations, you have, recognized that they're under a lot of stress and tried to accommodate them by doing sweet things for them, or going out of your way above and beyond to overgive, even in those moments, to just try to help that person. And then it's like, maybe in the end you realize, wow, they were just an avoidant and work was their excuse, and then you have the person who has been hurt so many times that they can't trust, that they can't open up, that they can't receive love or give love, On the bottom of the deck it says excuses, and it says, you have so many reasons that it never works out. Find the reason that it can work. And I feel, Pisces, like that is kind of your mission, or that is, it's like, you're tired of excuses, you're tired of this one and that one and the other, and they're all valid, they're all understandable. Yeah, you know, it's hard to be a completely secure person in today's world with the programming that we have and the parenting that we have and the family structures that we have and or don't have. The communities, the bullying in school, the this, the that. I mean, everybody has baggage. Everybody's insecurities have been worked over a couple of times in their life, you know? And we all have something that when we don't really want to give our 100% focus to something, we can say, oh, you know, I would love to give 100% focus to this, but you know, I just can't, you know, because I'm in such a bind over here in this other aspect of my life, you know, and we're basically living an out of balance life to avoid dealing with the thing that seems most difficult, you know. And yeah, we've all been abandoned, and everybody has a fear of abandonment to some degree, to some level. And the only way that we can change where we're at, you know, on the spectrum of the fear of abandonment is to be there for ourselves, to show up for ourselves, to keep the promises we make to ourselves, and to, you know, be someone who doesn't leave, you know, who shows up and for ourselves. And then we will find people who also show up, you know. When we're not making excuses for ourselves and for our life, you know, we're going to find people who are in the same vein, who are, you know, looking for the same thing in another person. So even when I'm sitting here trying to look at these obstacles, trying to look at like what could be standing in your way in some relationship, I feel like it's just a bunch of lessons learned. And it's almost like having some level of standard that, you know, precludes you from just being accessible to anyone and everyone. It's kind of like I learned a lot about what I don't want, and I know what I don't want, and I don't want excuses. And so the minute, you know, you give me an excuse, I hear the red flag, I heed the red flag, and I walk the fuck away, you know. Excuse my language, but that's literally what I'm getting. So let's see. Yeah, and it just like even having this and then revisiting this original thing, it's like, okay, you know what? If we want this to work, if we want to create something between us, you know, if we want to have a relationship or we want to develop a relationship with another person and they want to develop a relationship with us, it begins with me being responsible for my shit and you being responsible for your shit. And that's what's not happening here. There's a bunch of excuses as to why I can't be responsible for my own shit. And when you're starting out in a place where it's like, yeah, we both want this, we both agree that we want to figure out where this can go and what can happen here, and we're both willing to be responsible for ourselves and to not look to be healed or to be made happy by the other one, but we are doing those things on our own. And so when we come together, it is a joint thing rather than it's a shared space, rather than I need you for this. That's not a shared space. That's toxic and imbalanced. And then we can actually be satisfied in a relationship. We can actually find emotional contentment. And it comes from cooperation, not codependency, not, you know, the cooperation. Like we're both putting in effort. We're both putting in work. We're both sharing the vision and the plan and taking accountability for our own stuff and our own self. We're not trying to make the other person make us feel like, okay, I can trust you even though I couldn't trust this person in the past, da 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 da. That's not my job. That's not my responsibility. All right, I don't know what's going on, Pisces. I'm feeling like I'm driving a hard line today. I'm feeling like, don't F with me. You know, I don't know what this is. Okay, you guys, oh man, my vision is so bad. It says, pause and take some time before you make a decision about this person. Some information might be missing from the story, which will reach you when the time is right. And then it says on the bottom of the deck, do not attach yourself to labels about this connection, for it is in letting go and trusting your higher self that you will find the answers you're seeking. What impression this is actually giving me is that maybe there aren't any labels on this relationship yet. And you know what? This may be by design. This may be something where it's like, you know, I'm getting like, I want to be darn sure, you know, I don't want to think, I don't want to, you know, this is like, it almost feels like, I feel like this could be for the long term or for the long run. And so I don't like, and who, like, maybe it's just like the right time, or someone feels like it's the right time in their life to meet that person. Like, just the way the rest of their life is structured and working, it may feel like a good time to like partner up, or like the best time you're going to have for a while to partner up, or, and it's like, I don't want to spend this time on someone that isn't right, and so I'll just take my time. For other people, it feels a bit like an energy of you just know what you know sometimes, and it feels a bit like there's a part of me that knows, and on the one sense it's like I'm not really in a rush, and on the other sense it's like I don't want to have this feeling, trust this feeling, get down the path, and then find out I was wrong, or that I misled myself, or that my intuition was wrong. There's just it's like it's okay that it takes as long as it takes. It's okay that it unfolds in its own time. It's okay that we're not rushing. Um, and it's not that I'm asking you to help me to trust you. It's that I am going at the speed in which I feel okay and comfortable trusting the situation. And I'm not rushing it. There isn't any kind of need to rush. And it does feel like if it's right, we have forever. If it's wrong, then we're going to find out, but we won't be, in a messy, complicated situation. I don't know, you guys. Like, let me dive into the tarot. It's interesting feeling. This is an interesting reading. There is an energy of pausing, or taking it slow, or not rushing, or not speeding through the process. But it feels more like reverence, or like wanting to do it right or something, than it does about oh, whoa. You guys are getting the Eight of Swords and the Eight of Cups with the Emperor on the bottom of the deck. Again, this is making me feel this energy here, where it's like, I recognize someone's limitations in their words and their thoughts and their ideas and their lack of action, in the way that the relationship could not grow past a certain point. But I recognized it maybe early on, but then I stayed and I invested, and I got to the point where there was no more growth or expansion or anything that could happen, even through my own investment. And I had to acknowledge it, admit it, and walk away. And because I had to do that, I've become a real boss person in my life with the Emperor on the bottom of the deck. I'm making this decision to not let people in, to not go down this path. Like, I'm sitting in this very strong positioning of, I'm actually not going to waste my time, and I'm actually not going to like invest in things when I can clearly see that someone has a limited thought pattern, has limited themselves, because ultimately their limitation is going to limit the relationship. It's kind of like you're only as strong as your weakest link. And so I'm not going to fool myself into thinking that like I can help this person, or I could fix this person, or I could, walk this person down the path of, finding their way out of these type of limiting beliefs, or whatever's limiting them, and would thereby limit the relationship. I'm not fooling myself in that, because I have had to walk away after investing a lot too many times. Even once is too many times. So it's got me in this energy. I may not be totally approachable, but I'm sitting on a firm foundation that I created myself, and I am the boss of my life, I say what's going on. Yeah, look at that. You got the freaking Emperor coming out again. And on the Eight of Swords, it's like, this is my energy. I am in a space where I can make decisions for myself, where I am, wow. Wow. Okay. So I don't want to confuse this situation, but as I frequently talk about when it comes to tarot, every card is an energy, and in that energy exists a spectrum, you know? And so on the one side of the Emperor, this is someone who's very in control of their situation, someone who's making decisions that are in the highest and best good of all. They're seeing the whole picture, they're wise, they're sitting on a firm foundation, they're secure. You know, they're really not making decisions from a place of ego. They're making a decision based on what is in the highest and best good of all. But, you know, and even here it says the horned god. Well, what do you think of when you think of like a horned being? Don't you think of the devil? There is a situation here, even though definitely this is not a reference to that, okay? But that's just the feeling that I'm getting. There's a shadow side to the Emperor, and that is somebody who is projecting this energy. It's not really true. It's not really earned. It's not really, you know, they're not really sitting on a secure foundation. This person's not even sitting at all. See how relaxed and comfortable this person, this Emperor is, and then this one is like on the ready with his bow in his hand, with all of his surrounding people ready to sick the situation. You know what I mean? This is someone who is projecting this energy of being in control and large and in charge, and it's very ego based. And when we're clarifying the Eight of Swords, it's someone that has a very limited mindset. It's kind of like it's my way or the highway, and they end up dictating the relationship because of their limitations. It's like, I can only grow in this direction this far. And, you know, but it's not my fault. It's your fault. If you need something beyond the edge of my swords, that's your fault. That's your problem. That's not my problem. You know what I mean? And like, there's nothing wrong with me. I wouldn't even consider that there was anything wrong with me because I am an Emperor. You know, I am projecting this energy, but it's all ego, and it's all can be surrounded by people who are like, yes, you are the Emperor. You know what I mean? I believe you are the Emperor. I see you as the Emperor. Like, I'm backing up your Emperor energy. That doesn't, just because you've got like 5 people around you being like, yeah, you're the man, does not mean that you're the man. You know what I mean? Like, it all depends on how you're judging the man, you know? And with the Eight of Cups, with the Hangman, this is kind of like, I have had to walk away from things that I have really invested in. And this is like Piscean energy, obviously, with the Hangman and the Eight of Cups. And it's like, and I have a perspective on that. You know, I have learned a lot. And I know the difference between how I feel and how I'm making decisions in my life from a place of security and stability and foundation, firm foundation, in the highest and best good of all. To someone who is actually very limited in projecting that impression, but isn't actually capable of the limitlessness of true Emperor energy. And it's taken me a long time, but the you know, the way you really can decipher the difference between this end of the Emperor energy and this end of the Emperor energy is time. It is, what did they invest? What are they really offering the situation? Because people who are projecting stuff don't invest. Not really. You know, when you look back and you look at what they kind of offered the situation, there really was not an investment. It may, you know, they may have had the conversation, they may have had this, they may have had that. Those things actually probably fed their ego. Probably were feeling like confirmation to where they were actually, you know, at. Like, oh, Pisces feels this way about me too. Pisces sees me as an Emperor. Yep, I'm an Emperor. You know, but it's hollow, it's empty. There's not anything really behind it. With the Eight of Swords, there's no potential for growth. It's so limited and so blocked up. And so it's like with Pisces over here, it feels like, you know, I learned from these experiences with these people who didn't have anything to offer me in return, or didn't have anything to really bring to the table ultimately, who looked like they did, said they did, projected that they did, and in the end, you know, I had to end up walking away from it. I had to end up leaving behind the investment that I had made in those people, because I realized I'd be investing and investing and investing, and it would never grow, and I would never reach a level of emotional contentment in the relationship, because I was never getting anything back from that person. You feel what I'm saying? Unconditional love involves reciprocity. So with the Seven of Pentacles, it's like, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to go slow. I'm going to see, does somebody invest? Are they really showing up in Emperor energy? Can they really hang with me or not? Are they excuses? Are they somebody that looks good and talks a good game but doesn't actually walk the walk? Oh, Pisces, there's somebody that wants you. They are watching you. Oh, man. Could be a fire sign. You are getting like the Emperor and you are getting the King of Wands. Could be an Aries. You also do have Pisces energy, and you also do have Scorpio energy. Pisces, I feel like someone's either making up their mind about you. You definitely have taken someone's eye. I mean, it's undeniable. Just look at that King of Wands, looking at that Nine of Pentacles. It's just this really intense energy of like, I know what I want and I'm going after what I want. And that Nine of Pentacles looks sure good to me. Like, that looks like just what I want. You can see it's like, this is a king who has everything he wants. He's not struggling. He's not working hard. He's not trying. He's just sitting there, but you see how barren it is all around him. And you see what's going here with the Nine of Pentacles. It's just abundance everywhere. There's birds, there's, people, there's pentacles, there's wheat. There's just this energy of like golden glow and abundance and harmony in this card. And it's like, that is what I want to be surrounded by. That is what I want. So I need to go get this Nine of Pentacles and bring this energy here. And it's like on the bottom of the deck, there is this Judgment energy. Man, it's really interesting because this card is called the Sleepers. And I don't know if you guys can see, there's someone sleeping right there. Wow. Okay. Knight of Cups underneath that. You know what it's giving me the feeling of? It's kind of giving me the feeling of somebody who feels like there may be like competition around you, or even people who may try to stop them, or even this could even be parts of themselves that would try to get in the way, would try to prevent them from going after what they want here. And it's like, I feel this energy of like, before these people even realize it, or before I even realize it, I want to be well down the path. I want to have made the decision and be halfway there. It's I don't really know how to describe this. It's just sort of like, I don't want to call a lot of attention to the fact that I'm like doing this, or that I'm going after this. Like, I don't want to be like really direct or obvious, or even like telling people about it or bragging about it or any. It's like, I just kind of want to silently get in there and be, like halfway down the path before anyone realizes that I'm gone, or that I've chosen this path, or that I've made this decision, or that I'm doing this, that I'm acting on this. Let's clarify. Wow. I do keep getting this sense that this person who's watching you, Pisces, does think that you have other options. And that they're planning and they're strategizing. They're trying to figure out a way to like come at you without it being obvious. It's so strange. I don't know how to describe it. Seven of Cups, King of Wands. normally I would say, you know, like King of Wands has all these options, but that's not what I'm getting like a seriously like, okay, this could go a lot of different ways. And, you know, because the Nine of Pentacles is a very attractive energy. It's a law of attraction. And it's like, even if I don't see all these people around you, but by the way, in this card, there is a person here. And there's either a scarecrow or another person there. And then there's, I think, two people here. And the nines are very single cards. You know, think about it. The Hermit, the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups. And there's usually not a bunch of other people in the card, right? There's usually this bird and this girl. But in this card, there are a lot of people. And to me, it's kind of, even with these fairies here, it's sort of this energy of like, I might not know if these people around the Nine of Pentacles are people that have the same interest or desire that I have, but it's also like I have to kind of assume or think that someone in this energy would, you know, just, yeah, is going to have people interested. I also see that this person sort of recognizes the standard that you have, and it is the King of Cups standard, Pisces. And this may be where you have learned how to emotionally master yourself and process your own emotions, which of all the zodiac signs, it has to be the most difficult for Pisces. Like, you swim the deepest. You feel the most intensely, I feel like. And so it's kind of like my standard is that you are able to have emotions and that you're able to sit with those emotions, or, you know, not become reactionary or triggered all the time just because you have an emotion. And it's like, I need someone who can meet me on this level. And this is a high standard. The King is mastery. And so it's saying to me, it's kind of like, you know, and this person is typically, I feel like, driven by their desire. They could be a fire sign. Doesn't have to be though. But it's kind of like, all right, if this is what I want and I'm going after it, and I'm trying to go after it in a subtle way where I'm not like rushing in like, hello, I'm here, I'm trying to stake my claim, or I'm trying to show that like I am interested in this, you know, having a relationship with you or whatever. But it's also like, I respect the way in which you need someone to come in towards you to, I keep getting unlock the door, you know, to gain access to you. It's like you need someone who shows that they are capable of having emotion and are capable of processing their own emotion. That is really important to you. And so it's like this King of Wands is consulting with the Seven of Cups energy of, for one thing, there may be people around Pisces. Like, I have to assume that Pisces has other options. And with the Nine of Pentacles, don't kid yourself, one of those options is staying single. One of those options is, I don't need an option. I don't need another person in my life to complete me. I'm doing just fine on my own. And so with the Seven of Cups, it's also like a planning and a strategizing card of, okay, there's many options of how I can approach this situation. Which one is going to work the best with Pisces? Which path do I take to get what I want, to go after what I want? You have the Eight of Cups here. And, you know, normally in the Eight of Cups, the person is facing away. They're walking away. Like, we just saw the card somewhere. I think it's actually right here. But in this card, we see someone who has already walked away from something and is walking toward something here with the grapes, which grapes can sometimes in tarot represent gluttony. And you have this anhinga here, which is, we call it a snake bird in Florida, that when they swim in the water, that you just see their top here, and it looks like snakes on the water. And then they stand out like vampires in the sun, sunning and drying their feathers. And they, you know, so like, it's sort of like a lot of bad connotation things that we associate with snake birds, but they're pretty fabulous. Like, I love them. One of my favorite shows ever, the BBC did a show called Wild China, and I think it's like 4 or 5 episodes. It used to be available on Netflix. I don't know if it still is, but I've watched it like 1,000 times. And in that show, there are fishermen in China who actually, like, I don't know why I'm telling this story, but I never tell this story, but I never see anhingas on cards either. But they actually tie something around the anhinga's neck, and then the anhinga goes and fishes for fish, and then the Chinese fishermen take the fish out of the anhinga. And so they are basically using the anhinga to fish. So I don't know what that's all about or why I'm telling you that, but there you go. Some useless knowledge. But there is something here about like getting what we want, gluttony, you know. I think what it is that I'm looking at, or what it is, the vibe that I'm getting here is this energy of if I got what I want in this case, it would be what I call an embarrassment of riches. You know, when it would be so good that it would be an embarrassment of riches. And it's like everything else sort of pales in comparison. That's why this person is so focused on this, and he's got this wand in his hand. It's like, I desire this, what is in front of me. I desire this embarrassment of riches. And like, he has this basket with these scrolls in it. It sort of feels like someone who's wise, or someone, it's like they're not going empty-handed into the situation. They may have even studied you with this King of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles energy. They may have a lot of ideas, or they may have gathered a lot of observations about you, not in a creepy way, but like just in a, when you want something this bad, and when something seems so abundant compared to everything else, you know, when something is calling you to it so intently, and it feels so, it stands out so much more than anything else. You don't just want to like go in like a bull in a china shop. Wow, guys, I always have all my cards turned upright. You see what I'm saying? The Seven of Swords is in reverse, and underneath it is the Nine of Swords and the Six of Swords. I think someone's about to reveal the truth. They're kind of afraid. Oh, wow, yeah, they're going back and forth about it. Do I do it or do I not? Oh, man. I think they have to. You got, this person is like, do I admit my feelings? Do I admit the way that I see this situation? Do I come out and say, it's kind of like, I'm not going to get what I want unless I say it. But there's also this, I go back and forth on whether it's a wise idea to say it. I don't want to mess up what I have, or the chance or the opportunity that I have, because they're seeing it that way. They're seeing it as something they desire, and something that is different than everything else. But this person is going back and forth on whether or not to like come forward and say it. You know, this person may have been through a difficult ending, but also with the Ten of Swords, the Ten of Swords kind of came out like more in reverse than upright, but crooked. So it's a changing energy. This can be someone who has thought the situation to death. You know, someone who has run every scenario. We see them contemplating it with the Seven of Cups. I see all these scrolls in this basket that's making me feel like they've made a lot of observations, you know, and they're thinking, okay, if I'm someone that is really looking for this, or I'm someone that, you know, has this standard, or I'm somebody who, then how do I want someone to approach me? What is the best way to approach someone like that? You know, and I feel this person has really drained themselves mentally thinking about it. And, you know, it isn't always just about the other person, right? It's also our own inner demons, and it's our own kind of fears with that Nine of Swords on the bottom. It's kind of like, I feel like this person is really in their head about the situation. I feel like they're like, I can't stay in this energy. This is like an intolerable energy. And it's like they have not wanted to reveal with the Seven of Swords in reverse. This is someone who hasn't wanted to reveal their true thoughts or their true feelings. They're being deceptive about how bad they actually want this situation. And we see it kind of repeatedly in these cards. And it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, I can't maintain this forever, because, you know, when you want something, you know, when you see something as super special and you want it, and you see that there's nothing else even close to it, there's nothing else around it that even compares. Look at that. I'm saying this, and underneath the whole time I had no idea was the Queen of Cups. It's kind of this energy of, you know, and I felt even with that Judgment card in the beginning, it's like, I don't want everyone around me to realize that I'm sort of doing this, or that I'm going down this path, or that I'm going in this direction. I don't want people who are going to try to stop me, or who are going to put other thoughts in my head, or who are going to say things to me that kind of turn me off of a path that I know that I want, that I know it feels like it's for me, you know? And maybe it could even be that this person might even feel like you're a little bit out of their league, or like that maybe, with the King of Cups, that maybe you are a better master of your emotions, that maybe you do have a better handle of your emotions. Like maybe you're coming off as somebody who, you know, when you've mastered your emotions. I literally just saw a video cover of Teal Swan. Not a video cover. What is it? You know, when they post in the community, and it was Teal Swan, and it was something about, it might have been a video cover that she posted as a community post. Guys, I don't know. It doesn't even matter. But it was something about, I didn't watch it or anything. I did read it though. But it was like, oh God, you know, like sometimes, you know, when we work to not show our emotion, you know, when we work to be so in control of our emotion that we don't show emotion, it's not always a good thing, right? And with that King of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles, that's a very intimidating energy. And it's one where someone probably struggles to get a good read. They may be making observations, they may be collecting information, but they probably have no idea how you feel about them or what you're feeling about the situation. You may even think in your own kind of way that it's obvious, you know, but it's almost like you're so in control of yourself and of what you're showing, what you're allowing people to see when it comes to you. And it's working. My God, it's working. Just look at how this person is seeing you. But it's like, almost like it's so like, this person is having to, you know, really plan and really strategize and really look at all the options of like, how do I approach you? How do I get near you? How do I make this work? What's my best shot here? And there is this thing hanging over their head of like, I don't want to mess this up. Why? Because there's no one else like Pisces anywhere in my environment or anywhere around, or maybe I have never met anyone like Pisces with this grapes and this Anhinga. It's kind of like, you know, let me clarify. Okay. So the Two of Pentacles is being clarified by the Six of Pentacles. And in this card, it's very interesting because in this card, there's this female and then there's these two males. And they both have, this one's got, I don't know. I do not have my glasses on, you guys, but it looks like a bouquet of flowers. And this one's got some kind of like rocks. And there's this little downy woodpecker here. Or is that, I'm not sure. I think that's a downy woodpecker. I haven't been up north in a while. Anyway, again, it's almost as if it's like this person may have seen other people approach you, Pisces, and may have seen you sort of turn them down, or may have seen you like, I don't feel like this is like a rebuff, but it's like I don't know, it feels kind, but it does feel like I'm getting out of this situation without giving them the answer that they're looking for or whatever. You know what I mean? But I'm also getting that there may be like friends involved in this situation, or it may be like that this person can consult another friend and be like, how should I approach Pisces? Or should I approach Pisces? Because I feel like this person feels like if they do not come at you right, you will turn them down, or you will rebuff them, or that that possibility certainly exists. And they definitely want reciprocation, and they definitely want to know if what they're feeling and how they're thinking and whatever is reciprocated. I just get this sense of like, I want to know if it's reciprocated before I make the decision or the choice to like go for this. And it does feel like they think that you would be someone, you're not going to be like, yes, when you mean no. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be honest. And then you have this 10 of Swords, Ace of Swords, clarified by the Knight of Wands, 9 of Wands. I always think it's so hard to tell the difference on recordings between Knight and 9. You have both here of Wands. And this is saying, it's like, I have to go after my passion. I have to know. I'm going to have to say something at some point. And just thinking about it is draining me. That cycle has to end. That cycle has to close out. So I'm going to have to take action. And, you know, with that good old 9 of Wands, it's kind of like, if I never give up, I cannot lose. You know what I mean? And it's also like, yeah, you know, I have been hurt before or whatever, but I've healed. Like, I'm the wounded warrior. It's not that I've never been hurt. It's that I've overcome, or I've healed, or I've been able to get through it every single time. I've survived it. So it's kind of like, it's almost like this is out in front of this person, like he's like looking at it and evaluating it. Like, yeah, there was that time I got really hurt and I survived it. There was that time I went after what I wanted and it didn't work out and I survived it. And it's kind of like, it's a story of survival, not a story of hurt. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, it's like someone building their confidence, or someone saying, you know, whatever happens here, I can handle it, but I can handle it a lot better than I can handle my own thoughts. That my own, like, I need to do this, I'm making all these observations, there's no one like Pisces, you know, all these things that I'm telling myself are much harder to handle than the truth. And whatever the truth is, I can handle it because I've handled it before. Like, I'm gonna have to go for this. I'm gonna have to act on what I desire to know the truth. And it's the only way that I potentially have to have success. Okay. And then you got this 3 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, which is, I feel like this person is really visualizing it all working out in the highest and best. I really do. I feel like this person is like, okay, you know, I am, you know, I'm calling this into the material world. Wow. Yeah. You have underneath that the 5 of Wands, which is like obstacles, anything that would stand in its way. And it's like, it's almost like they're doing spells, or it's like, I've been watching Harry Potter movies with my husband. We decided to watch the whole series and then go to Universal. We're empty nesters, guys. And so anyway, I don't know if that's why this is really making me feel this way or what, but there is this energy of like anything that is in the way, I'm going to cast it aside. I'm only going to visualize or accept that I will get the result that I want from taking this action in the real life with this Three of Pentacles. Okay. Oh, yeah. You have the Seven of Wands with the Magician. And the Seven of Wands is a kind of a relentless energy. It's kind of like, I will fight, I will overcome any obstacle. And I'm definitely feeling that. Like, this person is feeling like this isn't going to be a path without obstacle, or maybe there have already been obstacles. Maybe the obstacles exist within themselves, you know? I mean, it's like Rumi said, seek not love, but seek instead the barriers in which you have inside you against it, right? And with the Magician, this is someone talking themselves up. This is like, you got it, bro. You got it. You got it. You got all the tools you need. You're the alchemist. No matter what happens, you can turn it around. You can make lemonade out of lemons any kind of way, any day, anywhere, anytime, any place. On the bottom of the deck, you do have the Three of Swords, and underneath it, the King of Swords. And so I actually, wow, and then underneath that, the Four of Swords. So it's kind of like, even if it hurts, you'll heal. You have enough wisdom, you have enough knowledge of the swords, the suit of swords. You've been through enough to know that even if, you know, something, God forbid, doesn't go your way and you end up with a broken heart, or you end up suffering because you've taken this risk or this chance, you'll heal. And you'll be wiser for it. And you'll become a master, but only through going after what you truly desire. You have the Queen of Wands with the Seven of Pentacles kind of spinning. And then you have the Seven of Swords again with the King of Swords underneath. Wow. I have to take one on the Seven of Swords. You know, there is something very spiritual happening here. You're getting a lot of sevens in this reading. This person is having an awfully hard time keeping their thoughts in a good place. In a, like, how do I want to say it? Like, keeping their thoughts in alignment with what they want and what they're trying to achieve and what they're trying to do. And they're really trying to talk themselves up. They're really trying to tell themselves, like, hey, look, even if this goes the wrong direction, you got this. You're going to recover. You're going to heal. But they're also telling themselves it's not going to go in the wrong direction because you're the man. You know, you got this. You got all the tools. You've got everything that you need. You're going to be fine. But Pisces, it's like that energy with the Nine of Pentacles and the King of Cups with this Queen of Swords. It's kind of like, you may be a bit intimidating. This person knows that you speak the truth and that you speak with integrity and that you mean what you say. And this person also is really battling some kind of fear or illusion that you have a lot of suitors, or that you must have a lot of competition around you, or maybe you do. But it's kind of like, you know, with the swords and the Seven of Cups in particular talks about fear and illusion. And a lot of times it's kind of like someone whose thoughts are getting the best of them. And, you know, illusion is something that doesn't actually exist. And, you know, when you're in the Nine of Pentacles energy, of course, a lot of people will be attracted to you, but are people really doing the work? Are people really like showing up to like fight for your hand? No. Is this person? Yes. So it's like, yeah, there may be people who would like to have a chance, but there are also people who aren't backing it up with the work. And I feel like this person is really trying to do that. But then sometimes this energy of, wow, you know, Pisces must have a lot of options, or Pisces must, you know, I feel there's some kind of energy like turn people down sometimes, or, you know, say no, or, you know, it's not like they accept every caller that comes a knocking. You know what I'm saying? It's like this person trusts your honesty. They trust your integrity. And while they're attracted to it, they're also afraid of it. I don't know how else to put it but that. But this person wants to make you an offer. There's the Ace of Pentacles right there. They really want to close out this cycle of just not knowing and just sort of, you know, kind of being back and forth with their thoughts and draining themselves and really trying to figure you out and trying to figure out the approach and trying to figure out what to do. And they are super attracted to you with the Queen of Wands here. And they do feel like you are really a magnet, that you are really calling beauty into your life and what you want into your life. And it's like they want to show you, hey, I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to fight for this chance with you. All right, Pisces. This is what I have. Let me see. I need some messages. All right, here we go. For Pisces dealing with the water sign, I can't seem to find the right words to say to you. Your words linger in my mind. I'm reminded of you constantly. If you're dealing with a fire sign, you're getting my heart is telling me just do it. Please don't take what happened personally. It's not you, it's me. No other compares to you. And maybe we're just too different. If you are dealing with an earth sign, you're getting, I wish I could take back the things I said. I'm in a much better headspace now. And I'm a better person because of you. If you're dealing with an air sign, is it possible to forgive and forget? Being apart has been life-changing for me, and I'm sorry I couldn't do right by you. All right, guys, this is what I have for you today. I really hope it helps. I hope that it brought you some peace and clarity. I thank you so much for being here with me. And I'm going to send you all off. I'm going to go decorate my Christmas tree. Yes, I am, before Halloween. I'm so excited. It's huge. And it's my favorite time of year. So, and it begins today, because today I choose it to begin. So I hope all of you have things that you're looking forward to and excited about in your day too. I'm sending you guys lots of love and light. And until next time, all my very best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.